much time in the church that you're even cleaning the church. You're there cleaning the church for hours. But at home, your bedroom is a mess. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have the long awaited and anticipated video about church and my experience and basically why I left. And today I'm joined by Niche because she has gone through the same type of things that I did and she went to the same church. So we're gonna both speak about things that happened. I was going to the church for about 6 years, and that was in between 2011 to 2017. How long were you?
I was going for like 2.5 years, like 2015, 2017.
Before anything else, just to say that this is not a hate video. This is not me trying to drag the church through the mud or like anything negative like that. No, this is literally just two people sharing their experience. So firstly, one thing that I would say that I experienced a lot in the church while I was there that I only kind of noticed when I left was a lot of opinions from people were being taken as facts and were being portrayed as facts. Like, you could go to speak to a pastor and you'll tell him something like, oh pastor, I'm going on holiday, for example, in like a month's time, just wanted to let you know. And then he'll be like, oh yeah, that's fine, like, where are you going? I hope you have a really good time and whatever not. And then the week after that, you could go and speak to a completely different pastor and tell him the same thing, and he will give you a completely different response. It will be like, no, or why are you going on holiday? What do you need to go on holiday for? No, you're running away from your problems. Like, and it's just very confusing because you don't really know what you should be doing, like what is right and what's wrong.
I was specifically told like if I go on holiday that I'm running away from my problems and something's wrong with me and that, but it's like if I'm going on holiday, I'm going on holiday to go on holiday. It doesn't mean that anything is going on in my life. Hearing something so small like that, it's like going on holiday makes you a sinner. Imagine what else makes you a sinner.
Even if it was someone's like opinion, it made it seem like it was a fact, like this is wrong, like you shouldn't do that. And I think it's just one of those things where I feel like if you're a Christian, for example, and you're in that church to like find God, basically, you're going to be looking to the Bible, and that's basically where the answer should come from. So anything that's not from the Bible is an opinion, and you have to be the person to make up your mind. Is that like correct? Do I agree with that or do I not?
I think one of the things that I realised as well whilst I was actually there was how strict it was. I remember when I first started coming and like I would see you and like all the other girls and they were in like jeans that were like 2 sizes up because they had restrictions on what they could wear. So no one's saying that everyone should walk around in like tight jeans, you know, Fashion Nova and all of that. I'm not saying that, but at least let people like wear what they want. Like girls couldn't wear like certain coloured nail varnish, like yellow, like bright pink, all of those summer colours. Yeah, you couldn't wear that. You couldn't wear grey nail varnish, and it was all because it apparently represented something, or it represented the world wearing those coloured nail varnishes. And I think now that I think about it, it's like those restrictions were so unnecessary. Like as a Christian, I don't think that
the colour of your nails would define you as a person.
God's not gonna, when you get to the gate, let me see your nails. I don't really think he's gonna be doing that. So things like that for me was where I kind of saw that, damn, like we're actually starting to follow the rules of the church
without even knowing why as well. A lot of things were banned. Like we couldn't wear ripped jeans, we couldn't wear chokers, we couldn't wear spaghetti strap tops.
Or dresses,
like nothing like that. We couldn't wear like anything that was like a boob tube.
Like girls were scared to show collarbone and that. Like it was actually mad.
I remember there was one time with me where I had this white jumpsuit that I wore before. A year later I wore it again to like the end of year New Year's Eve service or whatever, and in a year's time I put on a bit of weight. The jumpsuit was like not tight, like hugging me tight, but it was just more fitted than it was before. So after the service now, I was like just around speaking to people, and someone in authority literally dragged me from the corner all the way to the middle, right in the middle, in front of everyone, and was just like telling me that, yeah, what I'm wearing, like you can't wear that again, it's too tight,
that was
it's not a positive message. And I just felt so embarrassed. Like, it was so embarrassing because I thought there was a place and a time to do that. You didn't need to come and drag me all the way in the middle as well for everyone to see. And even if it was, the conversation was between us two and it wasn't actually shouting, but it was that thing where, you know, when someone's getting in trouble and everyone can tell.
Yeah.
I felt the eyes on me. I felt everyone looking. It was just embarrassing for me. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, like, I was also told that I can't wear like tracksuits and trainers to evangelize. If I'm coming to evangelize, I need to look more presentable. I don't know what more presentable is when I'm speaking to people that are the same age as me and I'm trying to help save their soul. Like, I didn't know that a tracksuit is gonna make that difference. Like, that didn't make sense to me. But at the time, I didn't question it. I was just like, right, they're telling me I shouldn't wear tracksuit. So I stopped wearing like my Adidas tracksuit and all of that to evangelize because I was told not to. But now that I think about it, like,
why didn't I say anything?
Why didn't I say anything? Like, what do you want me to wear? Clarks? Like, I don't get it.
I feel like with girls, like, it was literally like we were so protected over like everything. It was like we couldn't do. Like, if you were speaking to a boy, after 2 seconds, as soon as it's finished, it's like, who was that? Why were you speaking to him? What was you guys speaking about? Do you know him? Where do you know him from? How do you know him? Why? From then, best believe that person is not going to let you out of the sight to speak to anyone. And I understand that, yes, a lot of things can happen in church where things go upside down, but it's not every single guy that wants to just like get in there to get him some. Like, you can actually just be friends.
Yeah, have like, a little bit of trust as well in the people that's coming to your church. Like, just because a girl and a female and a male are speaking, it doesn't mean that they're trying to get to know each other. It doesn't mean that they're doing anything. Like, we literally like had to like stand 10 meters apart from men. Like, we weren't the real like one social distancing. We've been practicing that for years, trust me. Like, we couldn't speak to males within like this proximity. Nah,
that's way too close. Like, I had my first experience, like proper relationship in the church. That one, yeah, I'm gonna need to do another video about that because that one, yeah, just get that drink again. Another thing that I can even say is spending so much time in the church and you're not even realizing. Like, when I was there every single day. Like, you wouldn't even think that I lived there because I was there so much.
You were part of the furniture.
I must have wanted to be part of the furniture because I was there so much and asked me what I was doing.
But the reason that we were there so much was because we were made to feel like if we weren't there, something was wrong with us. And those were the exact words that would come out of people's mouth, like, why are you not in the church? Where were you? Why are you not here? So we felt like we had to be there all the time to prove that we were getting closer to God, that our relationship with God was strengthening. Because if you weren't physically there, in their mind, you weren't spiritually there. Even though we were told so many times, it's not about what you do, but who you are. At the end of the day, it always whittles down to, but what are you actually doing then?
Yeah.
What have you done today? Where's your good deed? Like, I didn't see you around. And that's why we felt like we had to be there 24s, like, for no reason.
You spend so much time in the church that you're even cleaning the church. That you're there cleaning the church for hours. But at home, your bedroom is a mess. Like, you still got your plate from yesterday's dinner underneath the bed.
Or when pastor's there in service and he says, who has £100 to donate? You want to walk down the aisle, bigging up your chest, taking out your credit card. But when your mum asks for money to put butter in the fridge, you ain't got no money.
Houseway.
Houseway. Take a few.
Really ask yourself, are you serving the church or are you serving God?
Things for me, like, at certain points, just got even worse. At home, my mum was getting so frustrated with me. Like, she even went to the same church and she knew that I was spending too much time there. She was just like, Lakeisha, it's too much. Like, you're a fanatic. You're actually a fanatic. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, how can you say I'm a fanatic? No, I'm not. But I was literally there so much, like, all the time, that she barely even saw me. Sometimes she didn't even know if I was in the house or not. So it just became too much, and every single time that I would speak to someone at church and be like, my mom is complaining all the time, blah blah blah.
It's a demon, it's a demon, it's a demon.
That's what you would hear, that it's a demon. And fair enough, like, a lot of things may be like the devil, and we know the devil works strongly against things, but
everything was the devil.
Every single thing. Like, sometimes you actually have to take a step back and be like, no, like, this is actually me. Like, I'm spending too much time here. Like,
and even with that, like, it got to the point where we were missing so much, like, precious family moments. Like, for example, my brother and his girlfriend back then, before my nephew was born, had a baby shower, and my whole family went. And I remember I spent the whole day in church, and I didn't want to leave because we had like some meeting, but I didn't not want to be there to look as if I'm not interested. So when I got home and everyone was talking about it, like everyone's bantering, everyone's laughing, and I can't even get involved in that because I decided to stay at church because I was scared of what other people was gonna say. But best believe, if I had gone, they would have said something.
Yeah.
Like they would have been messaging down your phone, they would have been hunting you down, asking where you were, why were you there, okay, but couldn't you just stay, Like we had to be there. Like there's no excuse, we actually had to be there.
I missed out on so much things in my family as well. Like I have a big family, and I just felt like after birthday, event, every single time it came around, like there was more than enough coming around that I could have redeemed myself. And every time I let them down, I just stopped like going to these things, and then I stopped getting invited. They didn't even invite me to something. Sometimes I'm seeing things on social media, and I'm like to my sister, where are you guys? And they're like, oh, we're at this person's barbecue. And I'm just like, I never got invited. Whoops. Because they knew I wasn't gonna come, and that's when it kind of hit me. It was like, wow, like I'm even not part of this family anymore. They don't want me.
When you start your journey with God, or if you're someone on your journey with God, like take a step back and look at these type of things. Like you can't say, oh, I'm doing this and I want to save my family. How can you save your family if you don't even spend time with your family?
You don't know them.
You don't know them. It doesn't make sense. Also, on top of that, we were obviously told we can't have any friends unless they were in the church. So when I started going, I cut off everyone, and I mean everyone that I knew prior to attending the church. And it was just like, that's one of my biggest regrets. Like after I took a step back and I realized I had to apologize to some of my friends, because some of them even told me like the way you treated me was disgusting. Like you only messaged me when you wanted me to come to church. And now that I'm in that position where I don't go anymore, I can see it happening to me. Like I get the same treatment. People only message me if they want me to come to church. Like it'll be like, oh hey, how are you? Oh yeah, by the way, come church next week. Like God forbid, you guys don't even know if something happened to me last week. You don't even know if something happened to my family members that you guys claimed you care so much about. But when you message me, it's all about church, not about my well-being, nothing else, just about church. And then you think, was it ever genuine, or was I just there to fill up a seat, to be your guest, to make it look like, hey pastor, I'm doing something, I've got someone. Just on the friend subject as well, like till this day we've got people that still go there that don't talk to us because they're afraid to be associated with us. Because if you are associated with anyone that was outside the church, there was something wrong with you. If you speak to anyone on the outside in the world, you're just like them.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have friends that were taking us to drink, taking us to smoke. Like
they were just decent,
normal
good people,
like going uni, going college, doing their thing. But because they didn't attend the same church we did,
it's like
there
you
was
had
something
to
wrong
be
with
careful.
them.
You had to tread on eggshells around them, and it's like, okay, try and get them closer to God. If they end up like not wanting anything to do with God, then
get rid of them.
Wash your hands of them.
Yeah.
And like just leave them, type of thing. Leave them, and then literally in 3 months' time, when there's an event coming up, try and speak
Invite
to them
your
again.
friends.
What kind of like fool person is gonna want to hear you out after you just dumped them? I don't think there was any balance. I think that's the word that I can use to describe it. Like it's just missing in general. You're not even going out to get a proper job. Listen, when I tell you, I was in a predicament like that where I was spending so much time in the church and I was afraid to actually get a job because I thought I was gonna miss something. And I was telling them like, yeah, I can only do this day, not that day, this day between this time and this time between 10 a.m. and like 2 p.m. Like literally like some 4-hour shifts. Let's be real, who is really gonna hire you to work 3 days a week for only 3 hours a day? That's so silly.
Another big problem there was gossip. Like gossip was traveling. If anything happened, and if it happened in South London, best believe the gossip would get on a train to North London, then the tube to East London, then the bus to West London, and every single person would know. And for somewhere that takes so much pride in being so different from the world, and we don't do these things and like whatever, you were basically just a watered down version. Like there was still so much gossip, there was still so much like negativity, there was still so much problems there, and
Bad vibes, man.
bad vibes.
Bad vibes. The
Toxic.
the energy was just not the one, and I feel like in a lot of cases I was experiencing it a lot more than I even did outside the church. I'm literally hearing rumors about me. There was a rumor that someone told me about, like, oh, someone told me that apparently like you slept with someone from a like completely different area, the same church but a different area. And I'm thinking to myself, I had to laugh when I heard it, because I was thinking, I don't even chat to anyone from there anyway. I don't know anyone like that.
Even with that, this should only go to 2 people max, the pastor and the person who found out. That shouldn't have needed to be like where multiple people knew. There was even one time where I went with her family to visit her brother in prison, and the area that we went, there was like a little seaside. So we stopped off like after the visitation, we just snapped like the sea. And that day there was something happening in the church. I knew her brother before I even came to the church, so I had a personal relationship with him already. So we went, and then it turns out we got back to the church and people were saying, you didn't come to this because you wanted to spend time and be at the seaside. Because you saw one little snap of the beach, you decided to say that we wanted to neglect the work of God to be at the seaside. That's a prime example of stop believing what you see on social media. And I know this is cliche, but mind your damn business. Mind your business.
You cannot believe everything you see on social media because you don't know the full story. I feel like with title as well, like it was such a high thing. Like they wanted to have that authority to make the decisions, to try and tell people what to do. And it was always anything that happened, like even if they knew they were wrong and someone was to call them out about it, they would always use the same excuse. And that's the only thing they would say is, who do you think you're talking to like that? I'm in this position, I'm I'm an authority. Just because you're in authority, it does not at all give you the means to disrespect someone or to feel like you can speak down to someone.
Like I was told countless of times that I was being rebellious or that I'm going against God's like anointed people and all of these different things because I saw stuff that I didn't think that like were correct. Like there was things that I started to question because, for example, when I first started like listening to music, any type of music was banned. Like all secular music banned. You couldn't listen to nothing. And obviously people in positions of authority should be setting those examples. But then I remember like there's some times where I just hear certain music, and if I'm abiding by the rules, I'm expecting people in positions of authority especially to abide by those rules. But then I'm hearing some stuff, I'm hearing some languages I didn't expect to hear. I'm like, and then I'd speak about it and it's like, don't go against authority, let God handle it. So we care more about protecting people in positions of authority rather than actually trying to help people and address the issues. If you go to any church, no one in any position should feel like they are more superior to you, no matter who they are, what they do. You know that saying like, in your workplace, respect everyone down to like the cleaners. Like literally respect everyone in a place of worship.
Both of us and one of our other friends that went to the church as well, we decided to separate ourselves from the gossip, from everything else that was happening. We was like, let's just focus on God. We come to church, we'll attend the service, do our thing, literally do what we need to do for God, and that's it.
Because that's what it should be. And then when we tried to do that, woo child,
it was a big problem. People were just trying every single day, every single time to try and nitpick at every little thing that we did.
People literally tried to control who we were in the church,
and everything that we did was a problem. Like we started to actually say, you know what, we want to be able to just live our life as well, show people that God was basically blessing our life, and just to have fun and to actually live our life and show people that we can be in the church doing this, but we can also have a fantastic life. And people actually started to slide up to like our stories, and on Instagram they'll message us and be like, you guys are living your life, you're like eating out at restaurants all the time, you're going on a holiday, God is blessing you. And it was good to have that feedback because people could see it. But the people inside of the church were like, but why are you guys always eating out? You're always doing this stuff, you're always doing that stuff, you're not inviting anyone else to do this, to do that. And it was just always such a big problem.
Like I know God transforms and everything, but it doesn't mean that you should lose your personality. Like you're allowed to laugh, you're allowed to spend your well-earned money and go to restaurants and go cinema and go out.
I think
people didn't.
I think that's the thing that was missing as well. Like a lot of people were just kind of like, it seemed like people were being cloned. Like we were told that this is what you should like and this is the things that you should be allowed to do. This is what you have to do. But it was just like, no, if that person wants to like go kickboxing on a Thursday night, why not? Even me, like I was dancing and I was told that I had to basically give up my dancing. And at the time, it's like I was upset, but I was like, no, but I need to do this, I need to do this.
It's kind of like you weren't allowed to do any extra curriculum. Like you had to be in the church and that's that. Like so many people had to give up so much stuff, and that's not what a relationship with God is like.
It's literally about incorporating God
In everything
into what
you do.
who you are and what you do, and having that tight-knit relationship with him. That's it.
Not a
But I
tight-knit
feel
relationship
like,
with the church.
and that's the thing, your relationship ends up being with the church, and then everything just like has to go.
As we said, we decided to take a step back and then kind of basically leave completely. So it wasn't just like we left, like it was a gradual thing. Everyone stopped talking to us. Like people, we were told after we left that we were discussions of like meetings and things like that. We were using, and I think that's disgusting.
That's really bad.
You cannot speak about someone and try and use them as an example and paint them in a negative light to make you guys look better.
And especially when they're not there to defend themselves as well. How dare you do that?
I think when so many people are leaving and there's a common denominator, everyone's saying the same thing. People, problems, rules, restrictions. You, like yourself as an organization, as a church, need to take a step back and go, bro, like everyone's saying the same thing. Is there really a problem with the people we're putting in authority? Like, do they really have that much attitude? Are they really that like belittling? Like all of those stuff, you need to take a step back and actually address them. You can't just say that everyone that leaves, there's something wrong with them and they let the devil get the best of them.
And a lot of people like to think as well that when we were there, and say that basically was never genuine, that everything was fake.
Yeah, discredit everything that happened.
And I just thought, don't you even dare. Because when I was there, I was legit. I was giving my all and put my hard work, everything that I was doing into not just my relationship with God, but even into the church. When someone leaves, it's like, well, that just means then that they were never they were never with God, they were never this. And it's like, that's not the case.
You
don't
can't
be
speak
so
on someone's,
insensitive.
you cannot speak on someone's relationship with God.
People just want to speak about things they don't know. Like, I'm still here reading my Bible, I'm still praying, I'm still thanking God and putting him first in everything that I do. Like, I don't make any decisions without consulting him, and that's still why I can honestly say that my life is still a blessing today.
Yep.
Because I know that my personal relationship and the connection comes between me and God, and that's what I've been focusing on
until this day.
To this day!
I have a relationship with God and no one can ever tell me different. God still blesses my life. I will never discredit anything that's happened before, because at the end of the day, I am a living testimony. I have seen miracles happen in my life that I don't know what or how they could have happened apart from God. And I just know to this day, like, I'm being blessed and no one could tell me any different.
Even after we left as well, people they'll see us on the street and it's like they were looking the other direction. Like,
I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing.
People literally don't speak to us from there.
It's not just them. In a lot of cases, they were told by the authorities, again, not to speak to us.
And if they weren't told, they're scared. As I said before, they're scared to be associated with anyone that's not from the church, because you will be told, and these are the exact words that they will use, is that there's something wrong with you.
Even as an authority, like someone in a position, you want to have all of that might and all of that power, but then you want to do petty things like put indirects on your social media. Like, those are the type of things that were happening, and I was just like, are you really seeing yourself? Are you really gonna do this? Because I got hands, we can put up different.
I just don't understand, like, mind your business, mind your damn business. You see that thing in the corner? Your business. Go pick it up, take it to them and mind it, cause I feel your business, not mine, yours. Mind your business.
Alright.
What would your advice be to someone who's new, like they're impressionable, they want to start their journey with God, they've just found a church, like what would your advice to them be?
My advice would literally be, 1, be yourself. Be yourself, because when you're yourself, you're gonna get so much further than doing anything else. Second of all, I would say make sure you know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Don't just blindly follow the rules and regulations of a church, of a building. You are allowed to ask questions, you are allowed to challenge me, you are allowed to ask someone to explain something to you 10 times. And if you still don't get it, tell them I still don't get it. What would you say?
So pretty much the same thing, to be honest, but like I would just give like tips and pointers. Like, don't ever let anyone belittle you. Don't ever let anyone disregard the stuff that you have to say. Don't let people think that they're superior to you because of a certain title. No one in a church is more superior than anyone. God does not see title. When you pull up to the gates of heaven, he's not gonna say, hey, pastor, big man, jump to the front of the queue and let's go. You know what I mean? Like, be smart. Like, use your own mind. Think for yourself. Stop letting other people think for you. Do not become a clone.
Yeah, for real. I know, like, with videos like this, not a lot of people speak about things like this. A lot of people are maybe afraid to speak about things. I'm doing like a lot of like fun videos here and there and whatever not, but the main things that I want to talk about are these real life things. And yeah, my experiences, the things that I've been through. We're all human. We all go through things. Everyone has got problems. Everyone's dealing with things, and it's like, let's deal with it together, basically. Let's speak about it. Well, I think that concludes the video for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a big juicy one. It's probably going to be quite long, I can imagine. But nevertheless, I'm sure it's been worth the watch, and I just hope that you got something from it. It helped someone, it helped you to understand something about me as well. Please make sure you give it the thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Please leave a comment. I would love to read the comments and actually see what you guys thought of this. I will be back with another juicy video, as I always do, and make sure you press that little bell to make sure that you are notified when there is another video. So until then, bye.